Well, greetings, everybody. I am Joanne Shearer Parkin, registered dietitian and nutritionist and executive life management consultant, here today to talk to you about how to supercharge your gut microbiome with P84, 10 unique gut health products all in one. So let's get started. So, what exactly is your gut microbiome? Well, I call it the most important organ you never thought you had. It is a balanced ecosystem of about 70 trillion cells. That's all the bacteria, the fungi, the viruses, and the parasites that reside within your gut. And you have 10 times more DNA in your microbiome than in the rest of your body. And here's a little tidbit, and that is that your microbiome is unique to you. You have a gut microbiome fingerprint. That is truly, totally interesting, isn't it? Now, your gut microbiome is what I call the control center of your health and wellness. And I learned a long time ago, early on in my career as a dietitian and nutritionist, that life and death begins in the gut. Now, we've known over the years, and many research studies now support the fact is that a healthy gut microbiome is way beyond just digestion and elimination. There's something called the gut-brain axis, that all these neurotransmitters and all these compounds that are produced in your gut travel the vagus nerve highway up to your brain and have an effect on your memory, your mental clarity, your mood, your sleep, yes, and even your weight, because some of those compounds produced in your gut and some of those hormones actually work on your brain and help with food cravings and signaling to you that you're full. So really your appetite center is not so much in your gut as much as it is in your brain. Interesting, right? How about inflammation reduction and detoxification? How important is that for your overall health and wellness? How about immunity? 70 to 80% of your immunity is in your gut. And how about balanced blood sugars? Yes, your gut plays a role in your blood sugar balance. Now, here's what destroys your gut microbiome. And this is why we have a terrible state of gut health in the United States. And it's because of what I call the gut busters. And first of all, top of that list would be antibiotics. But not just antibiotics, there are other over-the-counter medications and prescription drugs that also can affect and destroy your gut microbiome. First of all, I think the over-the-counter, what I call the non-steroidal anti-inflammatories like ibuprofen and Aleve, those are hard on your gut microbiome. How about the little purple pill, proton pump inhibitors to lower your stomach acid? Those also can affect your gut microbiome. How about the prescription medications for depression as well? And so you probably, if you've been taking these, you may have disrupted your gut microbiome. And I'm here today to tell you that there's a way to get it back. Yes, that's the good news. Other gut busters are, of course, it's our standard American diet, sad diet we consume in the United States, full of processed foods and sugars, also containing all those additives, artificial flavorings, colorings, and preservatives. And all of those can destroy your gut microbiome. How about stress? Who would have thought that stress disrupts your gut microbiome? Even things like using a hand sanitizer too, that not only destroys the bad bacteria, but that can also destroy the good bacteria because you have something called the gut-skin connection as well. So all of this leads to a condition of what I call dysbiosis. It's the concept of an imbalance between the good health-promoting bacteria in your gut and the bad bacteria. In other words, you have too much of the bad stuff, not enough of the good stuff in your gut. So this, as I said previously, this all leads to the terrible state of gut health in the United States. In fact, 20% of all visits to family physicians are for gut problems. And poor gastroenterologists, they cannot keep up. There's a bigger demand and then the supply. And so we're just seeing more and more people in the gastroenterologist's office. So this is all leading to, as well, a great and a big demand for more gut health products. And look at the global market projections here, going from 50 to 80 billion dollars per year, projected to go to 270 billion in 10 years. Wow. Now, we know what not to do. Avoid those gut busters, if at all possible. But what should we do to restore the balance in our gut? What can we do for a diet perspective? Number one is a diversity of high fiber foods. The greater the diversity of fiber in your diet, the greater the diversity of your microbiome, and that is key to overall healthy microbiome. And so get a fiber chart. There's many of them out there, and look at all those high fiber foods and try to get 22 of them in your diet every week. This is every day. I will be thrilled if you can do it 22 a week, okay? Also, what you can add to your diet is more fermented foods and foods that are high in prebiotic fibers. The prebiotic fibers will feed the probiotics. Those are the good bacteria in your gut. They'll help those probiotics to populate, to grow, to colonize in your gut, and to crowd out the bad bugs that are in your gut. Now, next you can do, and I highly recommend this, is that you can add P84 to your daily routine. P84 is 10 products in one, brand new, hot off the press, in the market from LifeVantage. And this is a revolutionary gut product, and it's going to be so simple for you to take. Instead of lining up your counter with like 6 to 10 different gut health products, you will get all of that in just this one product. Now, the P84 is actually made up of 2 different products with 2 different formulas. We have PhytoPower 1 and PhytoPower 2, 2 separate bags with these little powdered formulas, come in these sticks, PhytoPower 1 and 2. So let's talk a little bit about what's in PhytoPower 1. The name of this one is called Feed and Diversify Your Gut Microbiome. And it is a combination of 40 essential whole foods. Just look at some of the fruits and mostly their vegetables here in this blend. I mean, 40, I'm lucky if I might eat, 10 of those every week, or 20 at the most maybe, but with this, you're getting 40 essential whole foods in a powdered formula. Now, the purpose of these and the greatest benefit of these whole foods is that they contain phytonutrients, phytochemicals, which are non-essential. They're not essential like vitamins and minerals, but in plants. And you will find about 10,000 of these phytonutrients. And what they do is they help the plants to be resistant to insults. That's kind of like the plant's defense mechanism. And they will do that for you as well in your gut. They help to lower inflammation. These whole foods also contribute something called polyphenols, powerful anti-inflammatory nutrients. Also in PhytoPower 1, we find prebiotics, probiotics, and postbiotics. And you can see the number of lactobacillus and bifidobacterium and the variety that's in PhytoPower 1. And in fact, there's a total of 15 different strains of probiotic bacteria in PhytoPower 1 and 2. Oh, there we go. Now, phytopower 2. It's called balance and detox. Now, look at the botanical blends in this particular formula. Wow. Detox blend, glutathione precursor blend, toxin binding, inflammatory reduction blend, fermentative assistance blend, and a gut barrier integrity blend. Now, remember, another key function of the gut microbiome is to enhance the gut barrier. You have the single cell lining of your gut, and when that gets compromised, then you get something called leaky gut, where there's a relaxing of the tight junctions in your gut, and then toxins can leak across intact proteins. This can go everywhere in your body and cause inflammation. It can be in your joints, even in your brain. So you want a really strong gut barrier integrity. So as you can see, there are lots of biotics in P84. And so if you think about your microbiome as like your garden, and when you look at these biotic supplements, think about the probiotics as being the seeds in your garden. The prebiotics, they're the fertilizer for the probiotics. And then the postbiotics are bioactive compounds that are produced during fermentation. Think about the compost pile, all essential for a healthy garden as well as for a healthy gut microbiome. Now, hot off the press, a company just released a new study on P84 and found that P84 increases 14 gut peptides to regulate, repair, and restore your gut microbiome. Now, what are gut peptides? They're just short chains of amino acids. Amino acids are the building blocks of protein. And these gut peptides are released by cells in your intestinal tract. They're messenger molecules. They signal and they regulate all of your gut functions. They interact with the food and the gut microbes to coordinate digestion, your immune system response, your mood, and even your hormones. Yes, hormones. So this new study again found that 13 are increased and one is decreased. The one that's decreased is called zonulin, and actually you don't want too much zonulin. That can cause those tight junctions to relax if you get too much zonulin. But the rest of these 13, you really want more of these. And let's just go through 5 of the 14 real quickly here. GRP sends alerts to fire up digestion, 1,087% increase. TFF3 manages gut lining repair, 160% increase. VIP calms overactive areas of the gut. That's up 100%. OXM coordinates nutrient absorption, getting more nutrient absorption. We all need that, right? 77% increase. And CCK, which is essential for the digestion of fats and protein, 69% increase. So when I was reading about these gut peptides, and I was trying to think how in a simple concept and simple way I could communicate about the function of these gut peptides. And I was thinking, wow, they're like traffic cops that direct and carry out all of your gut microbiome functions. And without these gut peptides, you're going to have a very dysfunctional gut. Now, P84 is sold exclusively through LifeVantage Consultants. LifeVantage is the activation company at the forefront of nutrigenomics. We call nutrigenomics activation in our company. And how to take P84? Ideally on an empty stomach first thing in the morning, but take it whenever you can be consistent. That's the key, is the consistency. And try to stick with it for 120 days, because listen, your microbiome is not going to correct overnight. That dysbiosis has probably been going on for a long time, and it's going to take some time to correct and rebalance your gut microbiome. Now, you can mix the P84, these 2 little packets come in the powders. You can mix them with, just plain water I like it with coconut water, but my favorite is Axio, which is a nootropic brain drink from LifeVantage. That's my favorite. Now, when you start P84, you're going to want to document your improvement in a number of health parameters. Think about your sleep, your energy, improved mood, and clarity, sharpness, brain clarity. That was probably the first thing that I noticed. And at age 76, I need more of that for sure. Think about your bowel regularity. How about the gas and bloating? Any reduction in your medication use, less joint discomfort. Did you know that the pain in your joints might come from your gut? That's right. And just think about your overall improvement in your health and well-being. Now, we absolutely recommend that you take Protandim NRF2 with your P84. And we have something at LifeVantage, we call it the Healthy Edge Stack. When we combine these together, you're going to get a nice reduction in the price of the Protandim, because we want you to have defense and offense in your health and wellness. So the Protandim is the defense. It lowers oxidative stress, which is free radical damage. It lowers that by 40% in just 30 days. And so Protandim protects all of the cellular structures from destruction from those pesky free radicals. So it's really like your defense. I've been taking Protandim, one little yellow pill a day, for 14 years. I feel fantastic. I feel it has been a key to my health and wellness. And then for your offense, for your gut microbiome, because remember, I was talking about all of the essential health functions that your microbiome contributes, right? It's so important. So the P84 is going to help with restoring communications in your gut, keeping all your systems agile and strong. So in summary, what did you learn today? Well, a healthy gut microbiome is the key, and it is the center for your overall good health. Too many Americans suffer needlessly with a disrupted gut microbiome, because now we have a solution, which is P84, a whole food solution for gut health. It is 10 products in one. Just think of the cost if you were to have to buy those 10 products every day and take those every day. Now, first of all, it would be significantly more than in cost than the P84. And just think the simplicity of 10 products versus this, right? And we know now, and with the research that's come out, we know that because P84 increases those 13 good gut peptides and reduces the bad one, right? So it affects that balance of those gut peptides, essential for all of your gut functions to repair, regulate, and restore your gut microbiome. So I want to thank you for hopping on here and listening to my webinar. And if you were a guest and someone invited you to my webinar, I encourage you to get back to them and get your questions answered, and find out how you can get started with restoring the balance in your gut with P84. Okay, so have a blessed day. Bye-bye.